Hello, this is Marissa. Today I want to talk about my spiritual paranormal experiences. Um, Throughout my life, this has been an ongoing reality where I've had to deal with what appears to be paranormal, um, either through myself or through other people. And I've always tried to understand what it is. Is it something that's psychological? Is there other logical explanations for what's happening? Are there reasons that we cannot explain as yet? Perhaps scientific reasons, logical explanations. Um, you know, there's been so many things on YouTube related to the paranormal and magic and astrology, and I've sort of come up with my own conclusions about certain things, but I still don't have real answers. But all I can think of is that some of these things that we experience could be residual energy. Like if you hear each other's voices inside your house, like if you live with a group of people and you can hear their voice when they're not there, and you hear their footsteps when they are not there. So, what is that exactly? Is that a spirit mimicking them? Is that they're unconscious doing that? Is that you imagining things? You know, the thing is that the explanations are endless. I have heard my father's voice when he wasn't there once when I was a kid. I was with my mother. He went shopping and he was out. And me and my mother were in the kitchen. And we both heard him say my name with his voice. And he wasn't there. It was inside the kitchen. Both of us heard that. What is that? Is that him thinking out loud? Is that him thinking so strongly that my name could be heard inside the kitchen? What are these? How do you explain these things? What are these things? How do you explain them? Both of us heard it. My mother and I heard his voice. It wasn't just me. So it wasn't just my imagination. I've also heard his voice before when he's not home. Once I woke up knowing that my dad's at work, and I heard his voice inside the house. I thought, oh, he's home. I can't remember what he said. Back then, I knew what he said, obviously, and I just assumed that he's home. Then the phone rings. I answer it, and it's my dad. My dad's not at home. He's at work. And I don't know what he said, but I think it might have been what I heard. So how do you explain these things? How do you explain these synchronicities? All these, I don't know, weird experiences. There's been many things like this in my life, and I've always wondered what they are. Are they spirits? Are they spirits mimicking people? Are they arisings from the unconscious of a person? Are they energetic fields where people are connected to each other that we can't see, that exist at a quantum level? Are they the astral bodies of people? What are these things? I mean, it cannot be that I just imagine that. I mean, we've had situations where people have collectively heard the same thing and there was nothing there. A few years ago, my young son and I heard a doggy sort of cute puppy sound. That's the puppy sound I do when I ask the kids to come in and do homeschool, especially the younger one. And it's sort of, it's a cute puppy sound. This was going back to maybe late 2015. And I did that sound, and he came in knowing that it's time for homeschool. I did the cute puppy sound, and we both heard the sound. The cute puppy sound was repeated over us in the living room. We both heard it. My son said, "Did you hear that?" I said, "Yes." And it happened so quickly. It could not have been an echo. It was not an echo because it didn't happen straight away. It's like I raise my voice and I do a big sound and you can hear it reverberate in the room. It wasn't like that. It was just a quick, like very subtle sound over the sound, like a few seconds later. We've had weird things like this and so many other weird things. Another weird thing that happened was when I was out shopping and my kids were at home. This is going back to 2016. My oldest then was 10 years old. Okay, I would leave them, like, I shouldn't do this, but I would leave them, like, because the shops are really close and they're pretty well behaved kids. So, I'd leave them alone for like an hour. And I'd go back home and everything would be fine, I know that he's mature enough. And I wouldn't have left him alone if I thought he wasn't mature enough. Then the shops are really close. Anyway, yeah. So I'm a single mum. I was at the shops. I was talking to an acquaintance at the shops, actually, and my son rang me and he said, "Mum, where are you?" And I said, I'm still shopping. And I'm at Coles. And he said, we just saw you cross the road. We just saw you. And I was like, "What? No, I'm still here." And I thought, that's a bit strange. Is that one of those spooky experiences, Anyway, I went home and asked them what happened. What do you mean? And they said, both children said they saw me cross the road with the shopping bags, and a man was near me helping me with the bags, and I had heaps of bags. And the man looked East Asian or South Asian, Indian or East Asian. And they said, "Mum, she looked exactly like you. Same everything. Same dress, same everything that you wear. And she looked exactly like you, and she was crossing the road about to come home. And as they opened the door, I vanished. And the man vanished as well. This couple just completely disappeared out of sight. Nowhere to be seen, and there was no car or anything like that. And the window is really close to the door. It's just they're right next to each other. So how is it that you go from the window to the door in a split second? It only takes a split second to do it. Open the door and those people are gone. You could say, now, what logical explanation can you come up for this? Both children saw it, not just one. They saw the same thing. They described it the same way. One child saw an East Asian man. One child saw a South Asian man. And both, no. One child said that both people were having their head down as they were crossing the road, or they were not looking up. And the other one said differently. They kind of saw the same thing, but in different ways. I have no idea what that is. Now, you could say that they imagined the whole thing, that it was actually a woman who looked like me, and you could say, but what are the chances? How can a couple disappear, vanish from sight? Two kids see the same thing. Those people are not to be seen anywhere at all. There was no car. And how could they move away so quickly with so many bags? And she looked very much like me, or exactly like me. Even the kids described the way she was dressed. It was like the way I dress, with a skirt with little holes in it. I have never seen a woman who looks like me where I live. Never. Never. If I knew there was a woman who looked like me, I would have told them, well, maybe it was that lady who looks like me. You probably saw her. I've seen her before. She does look like me, you know. That person just doesn't exist. Still doesn't. So how do you explain these things? Is there a portal? Is there another dimension that works with us that we can't explain? What are the explanations for these unusual experiences? I love doing research on this. I watch YouTube videos. I read a lot about it. I don't know what to think of it. I know that my family have always had experiences. My parents, my children, me, my kids actually more than me. And we've had experiences in this house. I don't know what to say. I mean, I find it fascinating, and I like to do more videos on this, and I wonder what you think. And have you ever had experiences that you cannot explain, or are there logical explanations to things? Anyway, I'm a single mum and a writer, and I've got a book here. My first video has got an attachment to the website where you can download my book. It's a free download. Anyway, this is not a promotion for my book. It's more about this, but I thought I'd mention that anyway since I'm here. But anyway, thank you for listening. I hope that this has been an interesting video. And as I said, you know, what are these things? Are they spirits? Are they energies? Are we in different... Are there other dimensions at the quantum level? Is it residual energy from us? There's more experiences I would like to talk about. But I'll leave that for another time. But thank you for listening, and bye for now.